Hello, and thanks for taking the time to tune in and review two new policies that our fire department has instituted just recently. I'm Jose Ortiz, and today's video will briefly go over each policy and hopefully spark some conversation in the firehouse or answer questions you might have. The two policies that have been recently introduced are the Family Medical Leave Policy and the Social Media Policy. Let's first begin with the FMLA policy and go over a few steps to remember when requesting this type of leave. The Family Medical Leave Policy was put into place to help guide employees needing to utilize extended leave for the birth of a child, adoption of a child, and medical necessity for yourself or an immediate family member. FMLA entitles covered employees to take job-protected paid or unpaid leave in the amount of 12 weeks per year for specified medical purposes. Each employee is eligible to apply for this leave once you have worked for the city for at least 12 months or have worked a minimum of 1,250 hours during the first 12 months leading to the date FMLA is commenced. Some of the questions I've received are, can I use FMLA intermittently after the birth of a child? The birth of a child will allow you to take a total of 12 weeks off within 1 year of the birth. The only time that leave may be used intermittently is when the child is diagnosed with some type of medical condition that requires consistent medical treatment. Another question is, can I use intermittent leave for the care of a sick spouse? Yes, once a leave is approved through Human Resources, you may take leave as needed to care for a spouse. It is important that employees needing to use FMLA notify HR with at least 30 days notice, if possible, before taking the leave. This gives them time to determine if leave qualifies under the U.S. Department of Labor laws. Of course, this is not always possible in an emergency. Just ensure that you make contact with HR as soon as possible to complete the needed documentation. HR is there to guide you through the process so time is not exceeded or shortened for any reason. Use them as a resource and keep in constant communication with updates and return to work dates. Now let's move on to the social media policy. This policy has been created to help provide direction and guidance when utilizing social media in the workplace. Social media has become a platform of communications for the majority of modern day society. It's an awesome communication tool that organizations such as news stations, fire department, police, and emergency operations centers are using to get information out to our community quickly. Social media has become a part of everyday life, but we must be cognizant of what can constitute a violation of the policy. We all retain our First Amendment rights, but in a limited scope once we identify ourselves as being employed with the fire department. Examples of this would include updating our employment status as a firefighter with the city, or even posting pictures of yourself in front of a fire truck in uniform with the city logo present. When a person can be linked to the department in an official or unofficial manner is when your post can be subject to complaints by the public or reviewed by administration. For example, say firefighter A posts a photo of everyone at the station performing search and rescue evolutions to his Facebook account. In this example, this would be considered an appropriate post as it portrays firefighter duties and shows that we are continually preparing for an emergency. In another example, firefighter B posts a video of the new guys on the job having water and flour dumped on them inside the fire station. This would be inappropriate content to put on social media because it could be interpreted as hazing by the general public. How about posting an offensive, religious, or racially charged message? This would also constitute a violation of the social media policy if you have affiliated yourself with the city in any way. It can be construed as the city's opinion, and that is when your First Amendment rights are limited. I challenge each station to ask the what-if questions amongst each other as an exercise of what constitutes an appropriate or inappropriate post. Also, if you have the chance, just perform a simple internet search of social media discipline stories. Before you hit send, remember to think about the context of your posts and how it may be interpreted. If you have questions or concerns regarding the policy, please forward them through your chain of command or contact your human resource representatives to get the answers you need. Thank you for listening.